United Nations General Assembly voted Thursday to suspend Russia from the body's Human Rights Council over atrocities it's accused of committing in Ukraine. In a vote of 93 to 24, the Assembly suspended Russia for what it called gross and systematic violations of human rights and violations of international law committed against Ukraine. 58 members abstained from voting. On Tuesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky admonished the UN Security Council in a video address for its inaction in stopping Russia's war against his country. He called for Moscow to face accountability for crimes it has carried out there. Following the vote, Russia's deputy UN ambassador said Moscow had taken its own decision to end its membership in the Human Rights Council and did not want to remain with Western states, whom he accused of carrying out or abetting human rights abuses of their own. NATO nations have agreed to ramp up weapons supplies to Ukraine amid reports of Russian atrocities and fears that Moscow's ready to launch another offensive. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani has more.
As he arrived at the alliance's Brussels headquarters, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said his agenda was simple.
It's weapons, weapons, and weapons.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and other allied nation officials then agreed to step up support, including high-tech arms.
We have a strong sense of urgency.
So does Kuleba.
Either you help us now, and I'm speaking about days, not weeks, or your help will come too late.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
U.S. authorities said Thursday that they'd arrested a Japanese Yakuza organized crime leader and 3 Thai men who trafficked heroin and methamphetamine and tried to acquire surface-to-air missiles for rebel groups in Myanmar and Sri Lanka. The Justice Department said the 3 men were arrested in New York on Monday and Tuesday on drug and arms trafficking and money laundering charges. Under investigation by U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agents in Thailand since at least 2019, the men had arranged to sell an undercover agent large quantities of heroin and methamphetamine from a Myanmar rebel group. Meanwhile, they sought to buy automatic weapons, rockets, machine guns, and surface-to-air missiles for ethnic minority forces in long-standing fights with government forces. Nations around the world have agreed to release oil from their emergency reserves to take aim at rising energy prices. AP's Mike Hempen has that story.
The International Energy Agency says its 31 member nations have agreed to release a total of 120 million barrels over 6 months. That's the largest release in the history of the group. Half will come from the U.S. as part of the larger release from its Strategic Petroleum Reserve that President Biden announced last week. The latest releases from IEA members are in addition to the nearly 63 million barrels they said they would release last month to ease shortages. Energy prices, which have soared since Russia invaded Ukraine, have fueled inflation worldwide. I'm Mike Hempen.
A Turkish court decided Thursday to transfer the trial of 26 Saudis accused in the killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi to Saudi Arabia. The move raises fears that those responsible for his death won't be brought to justice for a crime that drew international outrage. Khashoggi was a United States resident who wrote critically about Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He was killed in 2018 at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The decision comes as an abrupt reversal for Turkey, which had vowed to shed light on the killing and begin prosecuting the defendants in absentia in 2020. And Pakistan's Supreme Court on Thursday set aside a ruling by the Deputy Speaker of the National Parliament that had blocked a vote of no confidence against Prime Minister Imran Khan. Recapping our top story for the hour, the UN General Assembly voted on Thursday to suspend Russia from the body's Human Rights Council over atrocities it's accused of committing in Ukraine. The vote was 93 to 24. 58 members abstained from voting.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.